Hey Lila, can you bring me that hammock quilt? Bring it to me. All right, thank you. Hey guys, welcome back. It's been quite a while since I've been able to put together a video. Last week we went on Lila's first camping trip, and we had a great time. I had full intention to film it, but like I said, it's like herding cats with a 2-year-old. So I've got some awesome pictures. I'll put them right here. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. Looking forward to doing that again. And hopefully next time I'll be able to put together a Dabbler's Den with Lila camping. We had a great time. So anyways, today we're gonna put together a little video, different video for you. I'm actually going to do a gear review for a hammock quilt. Now, if you saw my first hammock camping video, I just set up a hammock in the backyard. It was supposed to get pretty cold that night. And I couldn't handle it. I couldn't hang. It got really cold that night. My feet were freezing. Anyways, company Snugpak, they right here, Snugpak, they saw my video. They sent me out a hammock quilt to review for them, and so that's what I'm gonna do today. So thanks for watching, and you're watching the Dabbler's Den. All right, so first of all, why a hammock quilt? Why not just a sleeping bag? Why not just a couple blankets? The difference between a hammock quilt and a sleeping bag is basically a zipper. The hammock quilts don't have a zipper, which some people might think, well, why is that a good thing? Well, obviously, if you're hammock camping, having any kind of sharp objects, anything like that, is probably not a good idea to have inside your hammock. So having something that can't get caught on the fabric, that's going to be a plus. The quilt itself is broad enough, it's big enough to be able to tuck in behind you. It does have a foot box so that your feet can slide into it. I don't know if you're like me. I don't like being constrained anyways when I'm trying to sleep, whether it be on the ground in the bed or the hammock. So having a place for me just to kind of slip my feet in, I could pop a foot out if I want to pretty easily. It's the way to go. The bottom line, what comes down to what makes this quilt better than most of the rest, is the price. You can't beat the price of this top quilt compared to other quilts that are on the market. I mean, they can go from anywhere from around $150 up to $400. And that's why I didn't have one. I mentioned before in my other video, I was holding out. I couldn't afford a top quilt, and so I used a wool blanket and a fleece. But for the price of one of these, they're running right now on Amazon for around $50, and that's you can't beat that. I think if you compare that with their under blanket, you can get a whole setup, a whole outdoor hammock sleeping setup for around $150, and so that's great. And like I said, for someone who's price minded, that's the bottom line sometimes. And so for a $50 quilt compared to a $150 quilt, I would go Snugpak every time. All right, so this is how it comes. It's a olive, it only comes in one color right now. It's an olive green color, but it does come with this really nice stuff sack. It has 4 of these tighteners, these draw straps, and you can really tighten this up and compress it to a pretty small size. I had it down to about the size of a soccer ball. So it's you know, you can really pack it down pretty tight. It comes in at around 29 ounces, and from what I understand, that's a little on the heavy side, mainly because of the synthetic material that they use for, you know, to keep you warm, the insulating material. I'll explain, you know, why I like that, why I would prefer that here in just a minute. But you know, I would gladly, you know, this didn't weigh hardly anything, and you know, it packs down pretty small. I could stuff in my sack. It's not that big of a deal to me. So weight isn't that big a deal, and it does compress down to a pretty small size. So as I pull this out of the stuff sack, you can really kind of see the fabric here. It's a Paratex antibacterial treated fabric that will keep you from, you know, if you're out there camping for a couple days, it'll keep you from keep the bag anyways from getting stinky from sweat and things like that. So that's a good thing to have. And you've got this really nice micro diamond pattern. It makes it really smooth. It's really comfortable when you're sleeping in it. One of the problems I always had with nylon bags was always feeling kind of slippery in it, and this micro diamond kind of helps with that. So I really like it. All right, some of the functions of this hammock quilt, and again, most hammock quilts are going to have a foot box, and you can see that. Well, I'm gonna flip this over, but you can see right here, there's a box right here for your feet to slip into. I'll show you that later on. But notice there's no zipper, there's nothing else, it's all sewn in. So you have an area for you to slip your feet in. Some people will keep their shoes on, and they'll just slip them right in there and be able to get in and out easily. So that's a huge benefit for a hammock quilt over a sleeping bag or anything else that you're going to use. Something that's kind of unique, I think, to the Snugpak Hammock Quilt are these little wings off to the side. Some people find them unnecessary. I kind of like them. It gives you a little bit of extra on either side to tuck underneath you while you're in your hammock. Obviously, it's not necessary if you're one of those people that are really counting your ounces. You know, you may want to consider taking those off. All right. Well, you'll notice how wrinkly this fabric is, and that's to me a good thing. And I'm gonna explain why. This hammock quilt, you know, a lot of hammock quilts and a lot of really sleeping bags and things, especially in the hammock community, they like to use goose down as an insulator because it really keeps you warm. You know, it provides a lot of air space to heat up while you're sleeping and things like that. I'm not a big fan of using goose down, you know, for some, you know, a couple reasons. One, allergies, and two, another big one is, you know, every time you're done camping, you have to air them out. You have to take them out. They can't be wet. They can get really moldy. But these, I mean, with this fabric, it's water resistant first of all, and you could pack it down in the stuff sack and leave it. You don't have to worry about airing it out. You don't have to worry about hanging it when you're done camping. So I really like that. All right. So speaking of the insulation. This hammock uses what's called a travel soft synthetic insulation. It's, you know, it has high loft. It packs down really small, but when you unpack it fluffs back up pretty quickly. And that's the key for insulation. You want it to be able to have, like I said, spaces for air to get in. It's really your body heat that heats the air that keeps you insulated when you're in a sleeping bag or a wetsuit or anything like that. So the material that's in this will probably get me down to around 40 degrees comfortably, maybe a little less, depending on what I'm wearing. They actually don't have a temperature rating on this, mainly because everybody sleeps a little bit differently. Some people are a little hotter, colder. They don't want that to be a defining factor of the hammock quilt. But tonight it's supposed to get down into the low 40s. I plan on just using the hammock quilt. I'm not going to use any other kind of blankets or anything like that. So that's the hammock quilt right now. Again, I'm going to test it out tonight, and I'll obviously check back in with you here in a little bit. All right, bye. Hey, Lila. You like getting in the hammock? Look at you. Daddy's gonna spend the night in here tonight with his new Snugpak Hammock Quilt. Yeah? What do you think about that? Pretty crazy. Is this fun? Fun. All right, guys. Well, it's about 9 o'clock. I came back out here now. I've got my new hammock quilt here. I'm gonna give it a shot tonight. I will say that I set everything up a little bit earlier, and we got a really thick fog rolling in now. So hopefully I don't get real damp or anything like that tonight. But I've got my tarp on, and hopefully we're good to go for the night. So we'll see. All right, so I'm settled. I've got my micro diamond fabric tucked right up under me, and I gotta tell you, I'm warm. I feel pretty good right now. The temperatures right now are right around 44 degrees. I can see my breath a little bit. It shouldn't get much colder than this tonight, so I think the coldest will be, right before the sunrise. So it should stay pretty steady throughout the night. So we'll give it a test, and I'll see you guys in the morning. All right, good night. Well, good morning. It's a nice and cool fall morning, but I'm nice and warm in this Snugpak top quilt, hammock quilt. It really did keep me warm. Last night I did have a problem with my underquilt. The underquilt that I have is a 3/4 underquilt, which means that it doesn't cover, the full hammock. It just covers pretty much my shoulders and my torso, leaving my feet cool. Now, the foot box on this top quilt definitely helped with my feet. I didn't have any problems with my feet, but I did have problems keeping my shoulders warm. I don't know if you could tell right here, this underquilt, my top is exposed there. So I had a little problem with that last night, so I was a little cold on my shoulders. And that's probably, I could probably adjust that. Now I will say that Snugpak has a full underquilt, and it's pretty much the same price as the top quilt. It's right around $50, versus I think I paid about $100 for this one. So for half the price you get the whole shebang. I'm sure they use the same insulation, so it's probably good for right around 40 degrees. Although, like I said, last night it got down to about 44 degrees, and I was fine. I could probably gone cooler than that. So anyways, yeah, you might want to look into the underquilt, and perhaps if ProForce Equipment, who's the U.S. distributor for Snugpak, maybe if they like this video, they'll send one out to me, and I can review that for you, the whole setup. But anyways, yeah, you can see here. I'll pan this around. You can see my feet in the box. It stays nice and warm. I stay nice and warm all night. I did go inside at around 1:30, and slept in there for a little while, just not really to warm up, but just to sleep. But no, nice and warm. This thing worked out really good. Highly suggested. So for the price, you can't beat it. If you're budget conscious, this is a great alternative to some of the higher price, bigger name top quilts, and yeah, so go get you a Snugpak. This thing works out great. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here, and thanks for watching. Is that fun? It's fun. Wee! 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 That's fun.